Istungun Jokayadega. Istungun Jokayadega. Make it through the night, okay. One person. Istungun Jokayadega. That's like for you and Jane. 2 or more people. Istungun Jokayadega. So see, I'm talking to, and it can be more than you. It can be 10 people. Istungun Jokayadega. Or if I'm just talking to Amy, Istungun Jokayadega. See how that goes? Instead of saying just good morning, to me, this is more interesting. I was telling my class the other night, I said, everybody says good morning. Everybody that does say it, more than 90% says good morning. Good morning. But to me, Istungun Jokayadega is the original. It's the original, and listen to it. And I'm going to compare it now. Listen. Good morning. Good morning. Istungun Jokayadega. See how that sounds? And I said, you need that. That's different. They may not know what you're saying, but the tone. Istungun Jokayadega is saying, it can't be mean. They may not understand you, but they'll think, oh, she must have said something nice to me. And I was looking at a documentary the other day about diverse people in this country. And, by far, well, I'm not going to say by far, different nationalities had different hardships they had to face. And just like us, they made it. And, I was looking at all these that had the story to tell about what they went through. And, it wasn't, and this was in like in the 60s, Yeah, they went through a hard time. And I thought, what, that was, we're not much different, but yet different in what we went through in different ways. In different ways. And I was watching that and I thought, gosh, there's some similarities, but yet, we weren't all the same as far as the things that they went through. And, it was, and they all made it just like we did, and it was interesting. I was sitting there and thinking too much. Okay, look here. Morning breakfast. Remember, these are going to be, this is exactly abogax. Y'all, that's plural. Y'all get up, you 2 get up, you 3 get up, all of you get up, 10 of you. Abogax. That's 2 to 20 people you're going to talk to. Abogax. Get up. Get up. And that could be, that's mostly in the mornings, like, when you're telling somebody, y'all get up, abogax. And this can be for 2 or more. Hayat geese. Hayat geese. Hayat geese is making a statement like, it's morning. It has already turned morning. Already morning. Hayat geese, abogax. Listen. Hayat geese, abogax. That's a phrase right there. Hayat geese, abogax. It's morning. It's already morning. Get up. Y'all get up. And it's plural. Eat. Hombus. 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 And and the reason why I got hombus here is because when my grandma, and we were young, we was like 6, 7. After my dad died, my grandma spent a lot of time with us to keep us company. And they used to do that way back. The family would come over and keep the family company that they lost, to keep them from being lonely, or keep them keep them where they have somebody to talk to, so the loneliness wouldn't be so bad. But when my grandma, when she told you to get up, it was time to eat, and it wasn't sun wasn't even out. So that's how come I got home bus there, because that's what she did me. She'd say, bogas, hayat geese. Then she'd say humbus. But first she would say, Jirosofa okoshe, wash your face. And this is what I tell my grandkids every day. When they get up, wash your face. When I'm not there a lot of times when they get up, but like weekends, when they get up, I'll say, wash your face. Listen, okoshaks, abogax, okoshaks. See, that's more than one, ain't it? I'm not just talking to the little boy. I'm talking to all three of them. So I say, okoshaks. Well, I've been saying that all this time. Well, yesterday I got home and we were going to eat. And I always tell them before they eat, wash your hands. Jingi okoshaks. Here we go. Look here. Abogax, plural. Okoshaks. Chidosova okoshaks, plural, more than two. Jingi okoshaks. Jingi okoshaks, more than two. Well, yesterday I didn't have to say that because he said, he goes, girls, that's what he told him. Walked up to him, he said, girls, jingi okoshaks. And I stood there and my husband was standing there and I looked at him and I want to tell you what, pride. I was so proud to hear that because he said girls though. He said girls, and just walked off like it was nothing, like it was natural. But to me, it was like, oh my gosh, he used the language. Oh my gosh, he just spoke to them. To me. But to him, he said it and just walked off. Like it was a natural thing for him to say that. And those two girls, they said, we are God. And I was like, they were, and that to me was something, and I just stood there and I thought, me talking to him, that repetition I did was not all in vain. It was not all in vain. I would just say it because I was used to saying that. So this is what it is. Abogax, hayat geese. And breakfast was already ready before daylight. When she was around, she'd say, humbus. They are hot now. This is when you're saying they're hot. Be careful. Hey ho ye, hey ho ye, hey ho ye doshji. You're saying they're hot now. Hey ho ye, they are hot. That's plural. Hey ye, like if you say joshtagi, hey ye dos. You're saying the egg is hot. But if you say joshtagi, hey ho ye dos, you're saying the eggs are hot. Okay, that's plural. Hey ho ye, it's plural. Can somebody turn their mic off? I don't know who's got their mic on. I can hear them talking in the background. Knock iskida. Knock is something. Iskida is to drink. So that can be anything. Knock iskida. Knock iskida can be like apple juice, orange juice, coffee. And you can even say knock iskida oje dos. I have something to drink. Or knock iskida oji dos. There is something to drink. And poured in ajenas. Ajenas is a command because it's got the BS C at the end. Ajenas. And you say Yalaha obushwa, orange juice, ajenas. Poured in. Poured in. Jostagi. Jostagi. Hey, hoyidos. Look here. Jostagi. Hey, hoyidos. The eggs are hot. Jostagi hombas. Eat the eggs. Abadaga. Abadaga. Pancakes. And that's another one. You know, I started saying this because my grandkids, they really like abadaga pancakes. And I think it's because it's sweet, you know, because it got the syrup on there, but they'll ask for pancakes. And then I'll make them Mickey Mouse pancakes. So they'll say, Grandma, Mickey Mouse. And I'll say, Jishi, Jishi, you know, Jishi. And they haven't caught on to that yet. They know what a Jishi is, but they haven't put that Mickey Mouse and Jishi, so they'll say Mickey Mouse. Say Grandma, Mickey Mouse. And but they do know abadaga. Pancakes. Abadaga is something that you lay against like this. Abadaga. Or something against the wall. Abadagidos. Abadagidos. It's against the wall. And that's why they call abadaga pancakes, because the mixture is laying against the skillet. It's laying against it. That's why they call it abadaga. So it's actually descriptive. Mikoja is bacon. But look at the ikoji. Now listen to the sound. Mikoja. And ikoji is smoke. So it's saying bacon, this is smoked. Mikoja. Sausage, we don't have a word for sausage. I've never heard it. I just, you know, it was a situation environment. If they said sokabishwa ojidos, it was sausage. Because if we had salt meat, what was it? Toshina. See, everyone had it except sausage. So it was toshina.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
getting back to the bacon. So if you say it one way, it's just bacon. But if you say it the other way, it's smoked bacon.
Either way, it's bacon, mikoja. Either way, any bacon, whether it's unsmoked, you know, thick, slight, thin, it's just mikoja. Uh-huh. So when they say sokabiswa, you know, for sausage, and it's breakfast time, you knew it was sausage and it was pig meat. It couldn't have been nothing else, because they had a word for salt meat, Dosina, got a word for mikoja. Okay. And ham, we didn't have a word for that. So this is where environment came in. You had to see it to know what it was. Okay. You knew it was pig meat, but you had to see it. So this is where environment comes in. Dagalegoji. Dagalegoji is little bread, but it's also biscuit. That's what we call a biscuit. Dagalegoji. That's what we call a biscuit. And you know, it was the other day, I think it was over the weekend. So my grandson said he wanted the flat things that you do this to. And that's how I make my biscuits. And he seen me. And I said, Dagalegoji. And he said, but he didn't know. He didn't even know there were biscuits. He just said he was doing this, you know, and he said gravy. He wanted biscuits and gravy. So I made him biscuits and gravy, and did he tear it up? And you know, he's the one that will eat that. So dagalegoji is actually literal. It's little bread, but it's actually a biscuit. That's what we call a biscuit in Muskogee language. Dagalegoji. Dagaleg Guspi is dry bread. Dagaleg is short for dagalegi, and Guspi is dry. It's dry, so toast is dry, isn't it? Dagaleg Guspi. So we call it dagaleg Guspi. Okay, then the other word is dagaleg ichkupki. Roasted. It's roasted dagaleg ichkupki. And that's the way we make, the same way that we make the pancakes. We make it in a skillet. We even make bread like that. We call it cowboy bread. But when you put, you know, dagaleg ichkupki. And sometimes some people call it dagaleg abadagoji. You know, saying against the bread that's against something. That's how we do it. And so it's that's where there's a difference. And also, Dagalek Gusby can mean crackers. It can mean crackers. That's where environment situation comes in. Yeah, Ella? So, there's different ways, and now you're finding out where situation environment comes in. Okay, situation environment comes into all this. Okay, look here. Not Northa. Not Northa is jelly. Not Northa is jelly, something cooked. But that's where, this is something that is kind of strange to me. Everything is cooked. Eggs are cooked, bacon's cooked. Nothido. Nothido wasn't. Not Northa was considered jelly or preserves, jam. That's what it was called. And that could be anything, but we automatically knew when they said not Northa, it meant jelly or jam. And I don't know how we figured that out. Maybe it was just how they say conditioned? It was called that, and we just automatically knew that's what it was, conditioned. Okay, here's a miss. Look here, I made a mistake here. Y'all guys. Bishi Niha. This is N-E. Ni instead of he. It's Bishi Niha is butter. Bishi Niha. Bishi Niha. Niha is greasy. Bishi Niha. And it's N-E-H-V, Niha. Okay, look at Sarah. Nihi Jamba. Nihi and Niha. Niha is grease, but Nihi means it's greasy. Okay, Niha is grease. And this is for situation environment. If it's in the kitchen, it's cooking grease. If it's out by the gas tanks, it's gas. And it's called the same thing, Niha. Okay? Same thing.
Mvhayv? Busy Niha Malgatsat. Is that H supposed to be an N, you said?
It's supposed to be an N right here where the H is. I got a typo or something here. This is supposed to be an H where it's supposed to be.
Okay. Niha. Yeah.
Niha.
Okay. No.
Nihi Jamba. Jamba is sweet, like candy. Jamba means like, they'll say Jamba Uchigo. You have any sweets? They call Jamba like even candy, cakes, whatever they call them Jamba. This is Nihi Jamba. Nihi means it's greasy. Or grease sweet. Same way as butter, it's greasy. And that has to be descriptive. Probably didn't have Sarah. I don't know. Maybe we did. But it always been called Nihi Jamba. It's Sarah. Now my kids know that because like I said, we eat a lot of pancakes because it's sweet, I guess, and they like it. Okay.
Mvhayv, for above it, it's in where can't talk. Where you have the typo, it's N-E-K-E. But below you have it spelled differently and it still means grease.
See, one is Niha. Okay, Niha means grease. It's grease. Nihi means, okay, this is backwards. This should be greasy like this. Greasy. Nihi means something greasy. Okay, so should have been like this and like this, okay? That's my mistake, my goodness. Okay, so put grease up here where butter is and greasy down here where sweet is. Nihidos. I wish what nihidos does say the meat's greasy, you know. Nihi. Does everybody got that? I've been going through this like, huh? That's my mistake. Okay. Jostagi. Sakmoski.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
are you saying that chumba should come before nihi?
Oh, no. That's written right, but it's written right here in Muskogee.
Uh-huh.
This should be greasy sweet right here where syrup is. It should be greasy right here and grease up here. Butter should be grease. Syrup should be greasy. That is the literal translation, okay? Got it? Is there any questions on that? Okay, somebody said, how would you say the chicken is greasy? Well, you would say Dolores nihidos or nihidogidos, nothing but grease. You can say Dolores nihidos, it's greasy, the chicken is greasy. And you know, I've seen that. I've seen some, you put it on a paper towel and it's greasy, huh?
Mvhayv, we always are niha, you know, because the older women used to like to use lard instead of the
Oh, yeah.
oils and whatever we use today. So they always referred to their lard as niha.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they did. And you know, back then there wasn't no vegetable or it was literally pig grease. It was pig fat, animal fat. There was no vegetable or canola or olive. Maybe there was, but it wasn't in our world, you know. Maybe there was outside. Who knows? I don't know. But I know, you know, my grandma would kill a pig and render it. And then she'd buy those big old bits of grease. It makes you wonder why we are the way we are. But you know what? They used to eat grease. And I don't remember my grandmother ever having any kind of problems because she used to go out in the garden. We learned how to eat this now. She would go out in the garden, pick green onions, and she would put a bowl of hot grease out there. And she'd have sliced green onions out there, and we poured that grease on those onions and ate them. I don't know if anybody ate them like that, but they would pour hot grease on those green onions and eat it. And then and a lot of families had a bowl of grease sitting out there that they put on their beans, the red beans. They would have a spoon in it and they would put it on their plate of red beans. You know, it seemed like our elders ate that way, but they didn't, maybe they had problems. Who knows? They didn't go to the doctor, maybe. You know, but my grandma seemed pretty healthy. You know, she still got around and she wasn't short-winded. She'd get around pretty good.
Mvhayv, mamagitsat, niha, madalgustin, babagidon magitsat. Tapusidat mo ido emadis, duck biscuits. She would crumble it up, you know, and then oksantnet moin hombido emadis. And I get that because my mom gets that. My dog was this, but I get so much mom gets that. I get that, you know, because not so again, you know, Jehosi, but you don't go on. How you want man? Hada, I get that they do so on. And so I get that they is that on man more you don't go. Jehosi that knowing. She got to be 89 when she passed away, but she was, you know, pretty healthy. And so I knew Hillis Hayada Chahichnawat, Stuin Hayuat, Jizolat, Nak Solgin, Istijari Domsega, Nak Stoin, Nak Jinoki Godua, Margaret, Unbohidu Angesoan, Moan Stuin Hombesidu and Muddy and Margaret, Hari Maniti, the other side, Stuin Hombechi Duangam. And so I told him, I said, I always had red beans and rice and fried potatoes and biscuits and gravy. And he said, you grew up on that? And I said, yes, I did. And so how you want? Still, Hillis Hayaman, Anbohagiduis, is doing Hayawat, Mozaneta, Nak Solgin, Istiad, Istijadalgi, Idedat, not, blood pressure, diabetes, not Solgin, those they don't go on. Tindat Ojitsigoron, those Tagad, Anbohagiduis, Hillis Hayahijan.
Well, I taught cooking classes too, and that was traditional foods. I taught traditional food cooking like charahaga, boil fikcha, boil fikcha, hagides. I taught them how I would teach how to make that. And my theory was on cooking, like I said, it didn't seem like they ate this grease and stuff, but it wasn't really. It didn't hurt them, but nowadays, we're facing all these diabetes, cancer, and all this. And I kind of got a theory, and it's just a theory, a hypothesis, if you'll call it. We were natural people. We lived off the land a lot, and our bodies are different makeup than the Europeans and Hispanics, whatever, we're different. So we have all these problems because, and now this is just me, it's not no backup of anything. I can't really, say, but this is just my thinking. Our bodies are made up different. And so when they start injecting they started injecting, you could say, injecting steroids into animals, putting artificial things in different foods that we eat now. Our body makeup, our genetics is not able to handle that because our bodies are different. And that's where all our problems are coming from, to me, because, our bodies are not used to that. And even alcohol, we become, we get addicted to it because we're not used to, we didn't have that going around. We didn't have that. It's a foreign substance in our bodies that we're not used to because we were natural people. And that's just mine, that's just exactly. Somebody said their niha was pure, not processed. That's what I'm saying about this natural thing. Our bodies are not used to. Because, I've seen some chicken breasts that I buy as big as turkey breasts. They're huge. And, and then like the preservatives and things that they put in our foods now is not for us. And that's how come we're facing all these like cancer, diabetes, and even tobacco. They put nicotine in it. Back then it was pure, so no one got hooked. But now we have our people, and that's just my theory, that our bodies are made different. We have to be different to a point. And we were all natural. And as much like she said she'd go doctor and she didn't, but she grew up with grease. My grandma did too. But she didn't seem to be, she seemed healthy. you know, and she probably died in her middle 90s. I don't know. No one knew her age. We just guessed at it. Okay, Sakmorski, anything Sakmorski is fried. It can be Doloji Sakmorski, Bispo Sakmorski. It can be anything that can be fried. Daglegi Sakmorski can be fried. You can use this with something you can fry. Jostagi is egg, okay? Jostagi. Jostagi Sakmorski. We usually say Jostak Sakmorski. But I got the full word here, Jostagi, so you'll know it's an egg. But you can fry anything like Sakmorski, Daglek Sakmorski, fried bread. Abish Sakmorski, Abishwa Sakmorski, Dolos Sakmorski, Doloshi. Anything that you can fry, you can add Sakmorski to it, okay? Jostagi Gafagi. Gafagi is whipped. It's whipped up and mixed together. That's what it means. It's mixed together, gafagi. It's whipped. So that's scrambled eggs because you whip them, don't you? You whip them. Yalaha obushwa. Orange juice. Orange juice. Yalaha is orange and anything is a bushwa, okay? You can say basco, grape, saratako, apple. Plum, a baganoji. Anything can be a juice, ubushwa. Even stew, but they call that ubushwaji. They call like stew and stuff like that, ubushwaji. Itho ubushwa, that's they call that like squirrel soup, you know, ubushwa. You can do anything with that ubushwa, just add a word to it. Wagabisi. Now I got kind of descriptors on this one. Waga is cow. Bags, it's the bags. That's where milk comes from. Wagabisi. Right. But over to you, Joe. You know, it's something Waga and bishi means it's bags, you know, so waga bishi, which we call milk, is what it is. It's what it is. It's descriptive. And you know, my grandson, he can drink 2 gallons in a week. We have to keep up milk with him, and he'll say, waga bishi, grandma, waga bishi, waga bishi. And he likes it. And I tell his mom, you better get some more milk because we're down to probably a cup. You know, or when I stop, I'll get him milk or one of them, and then we'll end up with 2 gallons of milk, but we're not worried about it because he's going to drink it. He's going to drink that milk. He loves milk, you know. Coffee. Coffee, this is another one he likes, but we won't let him have this one because he'll be bouncing off the walls. Coffee. And he'll say that. And you know, he knows what it is, but when I got my cup, he'll say, Grandma, is that coffee? And I'll say, And he'll stand there and look at me for a while. And if I should, and I'll set it down on purpose and walk away, and I'll see him take sips of it. And then he'll set it back. And I intentionally do that just so I can see what he's going to do. But he asked me, Grandma, is that coffee? He says coffee instead of coffee. He says coffee. And you know, I intentionally do things. I'll just set it down and walk off with my back toward him, and I can tell when he's going over there, and I'll peek around a little bit, and he's drinking it. He's taking a sip. And that one time I said, "Hi, what are you doing?" He goes, "What? What?" See, but he had been drinking it. He likes coffee, you know. And I don't know where he got the taste of it, but he got it. So, guys, remember now, this is breakfast, okay? This is breakfast. And nakiskida can mean anything. It can mean anything from juice to pop to water. Anything. Hey huyi, remember, hey huyi means they're hot. Even kids, in hey huyi doors. Even kids, can be hot. They're hot. Jostagi can be one thing, but any egg can be jostagi. Chito, jostagi, snake eggs. Safo jostagi, fish eggs. It can be any kind of eggs. Just add to it. See how y'all's doing this, guys? Anything can be made into this one word. Some of these can be made into a lot. And I don't know if anybody's ever ate it, but talking about Greece, we used to eat fried biscuits. My mom, if she had leftover biscuits, she'd wrap them up, and put them up, and the next day she would fry them up for us. And man, that was the best thing we ever had was fried biscuits. I loved butter and jelly on them. Bishini had or not nofa. And she'd fry those biscuits, and maybe that was so we wouldn't waste, we wouldn't waste it. It was we had fried biscuits. A lot of people don't know what fried biscuits are or what they taste like. My husband didn't. He said, "What are those?" And I said, "Fried biscuits." And he said, I said, "You never ate this?" And I was shocked, Oh, somebody says that. Santa Jones says she loves them. I do too. I like them, fried biscuits. And my husband didn't know what they were. And I was like, and I said, "You want to try it?" And he did. And maybe it's just a native thing, but he liked them. He likes fried biscuits. Okay. Look here, start of the day. I got this all done. I can't get it on here though. Wait, let me see. I might have it here. Turn on the light first, it's dark, but here, just saying turn on the light. This is a command, it's dark. See, this says the same thing, but it's just said in a different way. But look how many ways, I can say that probably 5 more different ways. Get up and move around fast. Aleket, lepki nigias. Nigias means move around, start moving. Like this, start moving. But remember that other word? Oquigas means scoot over or move over. Okay. Oa ajahnet aklobas. Oa is water, of course, but it says ajahnet into what? But you got aklobas to tell you. Put it in a tub, because aklobas means to bathe. Okay, take a bath. So where do you pour water in? This tells you right here, aklobas means you pour it in a tub. Okay. Oa iokalas. Iokalas means pour something on yourself. And when I was growing up, I share a lot with my life with you. And we used to go to a pond sometimes and take a bath. To a pond now, we take our soap and our towels and it'd be a hot summer day. And just to be going to take, not a shower, but just to take a bath, just to go and bathe. It's something to, that was maybe it was just to waste time. Or something that we just did because we had a bathtub. We had a bathtub and water, but why we went to a pond, I don't know. We just go over there. And we would take buckets of water and just pour it on ourselves. We used to pour it on ourselves. Look for your clothes, achigi hobuyas. That was a no-no for us. Now we tell our kids, we tell our grandkids, hobuyas, achigi hobuyas, look for your clothes. We weren't allowed to look for anything. My grandma used to tell us, you keep them where you can find them. Always lay them aside. Put your shoes where you can find them. And put your clothes where you know where they are. She says, "Isti, we get a lucky lady." Says there might be somebody calling. Somebody might come a calling. And you know, that could have meant anything. Could have meant maybe somebody died, somebody got sick, and you had to rush off. She says, "Isti, we get a lucky ladies. Achigi, Shidichidan Hoboduas, put your clothes where you can find them. Dilibega Moarakaya, put your shoes down where you can find them. Hurry up."
I was just thinking that the pond, when you bathed in the pond, you know, we were always out in the woods and stuff too, but we always bathed like you talked about in the tub. They pour water in the tub and bathe like that. But if we were out and it was hot,
Yeah.
we knew some ponds we couldn't get into because there are snakes in it. But there were other ponds if it was hot, but we knew we shouldn't get into it, but we knew we were hot. And it's the ponds that the cows got into and they used for their drinking water. But we'd get into those because we didn't ever see any snakes there. But then for like, we'd find a clear spring creek if we were at, and we would actually drink the water from the creek.
We did too. We would be out in the woods, and if we found clear water, we drank from it. Especially when it was running. Like a little creek that was running, we drank from it. You know, nowadays, I wouldn't let my kids do that. You know, because it's so you know, they talk about we're ruining this world. I don't think it's so much us that ruined it. You know, because we lived off of it. We had to have it. You know, but you know, talking about, you know, we used to, if we got hot and there was a creek there and we didn't see no snakes, I don't care how dirty, we were in it. We got in it and come out of it. And my mom used to get mad because our clothes sometimes would be yellow looking. And she wouldn't, you know, and we dry out before we got home because it was so hot. And why we did this, I don't know. We used to walk maybe a half a mile to cool off and then walk back. That made no sense to me now, because we'd walk down there to cool off and then had to walk back. You know, and I told my husband, you know, that's smart thing. That's smart, isn't it? You know, we'd walk down there, cool off, and had to walk back. You know, but we thought we did, I guess. Hurry and put your socks on. Istili sahojechka lepki na dihas. Lepki means hurry it. Istili sahojechka is socks. You know, socks. What about this? How about your shoes? Istili bega da. Okay, istili bega is shoes. Da is how about. Okay, how about? Istili bega adihas. Put on your shoes. Adihas means put on. Okay, put on. Joga adiloyas. Gather is adiloyas. Joga, and it don't say your paper here. It don't say anything about whose paper it belongs to, but you're talking to that person. That's where situation environment comes in. You say Joga adiloyas. You're talking straight to him or her, so they know it's their papers, right? So you're actually saying your papers. Gather your papers up, because you're talking specifically to that person. Sokcha adihidoas. Sokcha is bag, adihit. Put it in. Doas. Doas. Sokcha bag, adihit. Put them in. Doas. In. Do it. Do it is what it is. Well, you could say put it, I guess. Do not put it up. Here we go with that da. You know that that 2-letter syllable means how about. You know, to me, it's shorter to say da than how about. to say duh. And how about Sawichka Jawas? Jawas means get it. But in Stiheki Bunaga, in the European language, it means grab the keys, get the keys, Jawas. Adami Thuktungas, get in a car or climb in a car. Adami Allergijus. Allergijus is start. Yes. And you can start anything, guys. You can start the washer, Sokozhebechka, Allergijus. Okay. You can do that. Now, see, with this little things here, we can do a lot. Because later on, for Gulgi is light. Get up now, listen up. Gulgi is just light. But there's candle is light. Candle is a light. Inside the house is a light. Oil lamp is a light. But a lantern. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a lantern. When we used to go to ceremonial, when we went to ceremonial grounds and we made a camp, when we used to make camp, we'd hang the lamps up there. That was Golgi Saha. Shalatka. Ishalatka. Golgi Ishalatka. Saying you're holding it. And Golgi can be turned off and on too. We can do so much with these, just these few little things here. We can turn the light off instead of turning it on. We can make him make this, get up, move around fast. We can say, move over, I'm gonna lay there. We can say that. We can do so much with just these. Okay? There's so much.
Mvhayv, Hajam, that move over, my good son. Can you spell that for me?
Yeah, I have to write things down because I'm afraid I might make a mistake.
Me too.
Okay. Move over. Okwigas. Move over, scoot over. Okwigas. Okay. K-U-E. KBS. Okwigas. It's okay. K-U-E. KBS. And that's a command. Because it has to be a command because you don't, you're telling everybody, Okwigas. Move over, scoot over. You don't, it's gotta be a command. That's what it is, okay?
But
and you can also say Okwigas. Move that, yes, right. There you go, Amy. Okwigas. There you go. Okay, so see this means, or you can say Okwigas, Oglekta, Okwigas, move that chair. And see, there's so much that we can do with just this right here. And that's how come we're staying on this for so long. And I hope y'all's learning something. Have y'all learned anything? Let me ask that. I haven't asked this in a while. Are you learning anything to everybody that's taking? Is it kind of putting a light on language? All right. All right. That's what I like to. What about the rest of you? Ella says she's learned a whole lot. So see, this is what I need to. You can see your messages recording on. Yeah, recording's on.
Mvhayv, I've forgotten what abiswa means.
Abiswa is meat. Is meat. Any kind of meat.
Yes. Thank you.
Any kind of meat. Any kind of meat. It can be pig meat, horse meat, cow meat, anything. Okay? It can mean anything. Okay, it's almost, so I'm gonna go to this right here, since we're doing this. I'm gonna go to this. Hey, wait. Did we do this? Have we done this? Okay, Golgi is light.
Mvhayv, before you continue with that, Hadiezi, y'all were talking about things that we did when we were small and things that we don't do now.
Yeah.
And so I get that when we would go to work, well, just like at church, you had a community, you had a community water jug with a community cup, and you use that one cup. Each person used that cup when they wanted a drink of water, whether it was at church, and we had the same thing in the cotton field. So if I wanted a drink, I'd have to go over there, but I'd have to wait for somebody that was bigger than me so they could reach the top of the bucket and then, get the water out for me, because I couldn't reach it. I was too short. So I'd tell them I want a drink of water, and so they'd get it for me. And then, but I was drinking out of everybody drank out of that one cup, and it usually had like a string attached to the handles, so that you wouldn't lose the cup, or it wouldn't, drop on the ground or anything like that. And so it was always, like that. And I was thinking about that too when y'all were talking about drinking water out of the river, or creek, wherever y'all were. And
my grandmother.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, you know what? When you say community, that's a good word for it. Because anytime you went to a ceremonial ground or a church, there was just a dipper. There was a dipper up there and a water can. Now, my grandmother, and this may seem strange, but on her porch, she had a hook on top of the rafter there on her porch at the edge. There was a bucket of water hanging there with a dipper inside. So if you wanted to drink water, you just had to reach up there to that raft, where it was hanging at the edge of the porch, and just get your drink. And it was drawn water. Talking about that, like the drawn water, and like when I said I taught cooking classes too. We make lye from, we used to make it from well water or cistern water. Now we make it from, we can't get it anywhere but tap. And tap's got fluoride in it. It's got all kind of additives. Well, does that change the way our lye is made and how our food tastes? And when we cook with it, is that what's affecting some of our health too? Because our bodies aren't used to that. Our body, we're used to natural water, spring water and stuff. I do, like I said, this is my theory, that it affects everything that is us as Native people, as Muskogee. So, okay, look here, we got 7 minutes. Light, Golgi. Turn on light, Religious. And right there is confusing to me. I've been trying to figure it out. Golgi is light, and it says religious. But it means turn it up. Got it. It means light the light. Light the light. It's a command. Religious means light it. So this could, instead of being like electrolyte, it could have been a lamp or a lantern. Golgi shalatka. Golgi shalatka. It could have been that. Yomochki is dark. It is dos. Alegas, get up. Lupki, quickly. Nigias, move around. It's a command. Oa, water. Achahnik, pour it in. Aklobas, take the bath. Just put it on. Istilisa hojechka, socks. Lutking. Got that again. I did has put it on. It's still there we go. How about the mother? How about that? Dilibegada. How about shoes? Galabugada. How about your hat? See, that is about how about I did has put it on. Joga paper. I did lawyers gather them up. Sokja. And this can mean a Walmart bag, guys. Sokja. It can mean a Walmart bag. It can mean your suitcase. It can mean your book bag. It can mean any kind of bag. It's sokja, brown bag. I did put it, that it at the end of this, et is it. Put it in. Dos, do it. Dogna is short for dognawa. Dogna, short for dognawa. Hori is shelter. Okay. This is words rarely used. Remember, we went through that. I thought this would be interesting. I got hand names too coming up, maybe Bakshi. Tomorrow, there's names for your fingers. A lot of people don't know that. You know, there's names, they just call it Ingi, but there's names for your fingers. Okay, Kabidina is boss. Mokjoga. Mokjoga means it's been taken off. It's the cream, and it means on top of that, you know, the milk, the cream, top of it. Mokjoga. Danaloga is dragon. Osha is poke salad. Dabashana, dragonfly. Daboshola. Daboshole, that's daddy long legs. I don't like them things. I am scared of them things that daddy long legs, and so is Dabashana. I'm afraid of them too. I'm afraid of insects. Odi, island. Damahi. Remember you asked about that. Damahi, Ella. And that's unusual, once in a while, out of the ordinary, something like that. Moyimats. This was used a lot when they tell stories. Moyimats. It happened. Nagi hisigot moyimats. Something bad, it happened. Moyimats. Nakisigot moyimats. Lunar eclipse. Hathisi dibagat. Trobakta logat. I mean, dog ass. Well, we taught that to our little grandson last night. When he said, wash your hands, my husband said, Jaban, dog ass. He said, tell him, dog ass. I said it. I mean it, dog ass. And so he walked around saying, dog ass. Mak means is short for magida, to say. I'm saying, dog ass. And then I am doing, dog ass. Not dog ass. I'm doing something. Dogas now. Dogas. You know, that's like now. How you want me just dogas? Or that's more like now, like a command, like put the beans in there. How you want dogas actihas. The lago actihas. Dogas niha heyis. Now the grease is hot, you know, that's like that now, dogas, or time, maybe time, you know, dogas. So, you know, this is just words that I come out, and I got hands of names. I don't know if I've done that before. Have I done that? The fingers?
Not the fingers.
Okay, we're gonna do fingers even tomorrow, because this kind of breaks the monotony of what we're doing and just kind of teaching you while teaching, okay? And this what
you know, you said sometimes we cut things short. When we were growing up, we always said Dilabegas. You know, we didn't put the ST in front of it.
That's right. We didn't say Stilibega. We said Stilibega. We said Dilibega. You know, yeah, Dilibega. But and that's still saying Istilibega. You know, but it's just cutting it off, Dilibega. It's actually saying leg into something, you know, Dilibega. And you know, we're gonna learn all this because we're gonna go through all that too, you know, how we speak And sometimes I will speak to y'all. Sometimes I write it the way I speak and I shouldn't. I'm trying to get the real word in, like Istilibega instead of Dilibega. Because like in the dictionary, it says Istilibega. And I don't want to confuse you, you know, but like you said, we did speak that. That's how we spoke, in fact. That's the real way of speaking, Dilibega. You know, Dilibega. Oh, I know.
Mvhayv.
Go ahead.
I love how you're making it conversational though. And so I appreciate what you're saying, but I love this. I absolutely love it. The whole thing. I have two quick things, a question, but a comment. I love the new app you guys put out. That's fantastic. It's a great compliment to the classes. So well done. Well done. A lot of work, obviously, that you all do for every component, but it happened, Mvhayv. Is that when you're telling a story, is it only used for something negative that's happened, or can it be just anything that's happened? Mvhayv.
Like can be anything. It don't have to be anything bad. It can be funny. It can be sad. It can be just anything that happened. Okay, past. Mvhayv. You know.
Is it kind of like you know how in English you say once upon a time?
Yeah, kind of like that. Okay. It's like it happened. It's more like it happened one time. You know that Mvhayv. Mvhayv is like all right, Mado. So you know Mvhayv means it happened. Mutz means like it did. It's like the past. You know what I'm saying? It's a past and it's something happened, you know. And it don't have to be bad. It don't have to be, it can be anything that happened, you know.
But Mvhayv, man magit Moya di or let's see, I was thinking of something else, but when you're using that word, when you talk about a long time ago, Moyadis is Ovonangi Moyadis.
Yep. Same way, yeah. One is Moyadis, it happened, and one Mvhayv, it did.
The Ella, did you say Ofunga? Moyadis?
It's just, you know, it's to me, it's the same thing. It's just how you use it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. So, boxing Jihita Gathis, Mado Gathis.
Mado. Mado.
Chimio, Mado Jigetas.
Mado.
Mado.